Hello everyone, I'm Vikram P. Maduri here. Welcome to SOFTECH, and in this session, I'm going to share you a couple of steps. That's exactly 18 steps to get a job in 30 days. So I'm going to create a layout and kind of a roadmap which you can follow, and you must follow. Only then you can expect the good results. So just by listening you'll not get any results, so you have to implement them and on a day-to-day basis, and only then we can expect that good results. Okay, so let's start the 18 steps now. So these are the 18 steps that we need to follow to get a job in 30 days. So in this, we'll go ahead with the step-by-step process, and I'll explain you the significance of the step, and then we'll go ahead with the other things. Okay. So the first and foremost is customize your resume for each job. So for example, if you're in a hurry, if you want to close down your next placement or next job very soon, so you have to customize your resume for each job. So you need to spend some time. I know it will take some time, but you need to do that. And whether this session is for every one of you, whether you are on a top post position or you are a fresher, 0 to 20 years of experience, or even more than that, anyone, for everyone, this session is applicable to everyone. And if at all, if you feel that this is useful for others, please do share it with them in all the social networking sites wherever it is possible for you. Okay. Now, if you have been out of the college for a while and your resume still lists your first internship, you're probably better off creating one from search. Once it's up to speed, you are going to want to tailor it, qualify your qualify the things that are required for the client, and quantify your bullet points. You need to highlight them and cut down to say 2 to 3 pages. And you'll have to go through this process for each new position you find, and mostly because the hiring managers only give you 6 seconds. So you need to keep that in mind, that the hiring manager is going to spare not more than 6 seconds on your resume. So it should catch his eye, and you need to make sure that all the points which are there in the job description, which is popularly called as JD, needs to be there in your resume. If it is not there, they're going to skip or leave your resume. So that's the most important thing. Understand the job requirement of the client, and then you customize it a little bit, not more, which you can manage, and customize it according to it. Highlight those points which the client needs, which you already have done it in the past, and then you send that resume. It will be more effective. The second point is customize your cover letter as well. So cover letter also matters a lot, because most of the candidates, I have observed that they don't give priority to the cover letter, the heading, the title that they give it to the resume when they are uploading into the social any job portals. So for starters, this means you need to address it to a person, and it should be open and closed with the attention grabbing lines. And it's easy, just have to go through the job description. What are the primary skills? What are the primary skills the client is looking out for? You can just highlight them as your title of this resume or profile. And update your LinkedIn profile and then actually use it. So most of the customers or the hiring managers, they have this practice in the recent times that they type your full name, or they copy paste your full name into the LinkedIn and check if how is your LinkedIn profile going on. And it gives more credibility to the resume, because if you say that you are working in Capgemini company or IBM company, so they look at your profile in LinkedIn and they check if already there are other employees who are your friends in LinkedIn, so that they get a feel that okay, yours is a really good profile, and what are the feedbacks that your previous employers have given you, or anything that if anybody has endorsed you on LinkedIn. So they check all these things on the social networking platforms as well. So you need to make sure that the LinkedIn profile is up to date according to your resume. They are both in part to each other is what we need to make sure. The fourth point is get your online presence in order. So as soon as a hiring manager looks at your resume, he or she immediately Googles Googles you, may not be immediately, but if he or she is interested, it will happen at some point, for sure. Which means that everything on your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest is instantly a part of your application. So how do you manage your social media for career success? Step 1 is making sure that all public platforms are professional. That doesn't mean you only share the latest things, but it does matter when there's nothing that could be interpreted badly. So when in doubt, if you are in doubt, change your settings and make them private. And step 2 is the fun part, is the part where you get to impress anyone searching for your online presence. While we recommend building your own personal portfolio, we also advise you to make sure your biodata send the right message from your LinkedIn summary to those 160 characters on your Twitter profile as well. And you can, as I said, step 1 is there is an option of making everything private, or the step 2 is that you go and update it in such a way that whenever the hiring manager sees that, they get really impressed. Step 5 is network. The network is the net worth is what people say, and then the network's some more network. So the rumors are actually true. The more people you know, the easier it will be to get a job. So you are going to have to get out and do some networking. I saw you shudder, but fear not. Networking comes in all forms. So no matter if you are introverted or extroverted, there's always a way for you to connect with the right people. Emphasis on the right way. So it's very important to choose the right path in the right way. So you'll want to start by reaching out to your own network and letting them know you are looking for a new job. So then the more uncomfortable part, asking strangers for help. So it's easier than you would imagine. For example, the email templates which will get you a meeting with almost anyone you ask for. So the goal here is to set up informational interviews to not to only get your foot in the door, but also learn more about the company you are interested in and find the right fit. If there's someone you met at a party and who you think could help you out, there's nothing wrong in politely following up and asking for his or her advice. No matter who you know, almost anyone can help a valuable career connection with some genuine effort. Step 6 is be deliberate when applying for jobs. So one common misconception about the search is that you should apply not as many jobs as possible, but this is definitely not the case. Instead, you want to spend time doing your research, filling out your applications, and only applying for positions you are actually qualified for and interested in. A big reason it's better to target your search rather than apply aimlessly is because your application has to get through an ATS first, meaning a robo, which it's related to artificial intelligence, which reads through your materials before a human does. So there's a way to pass that artificial intelligence gateway, but it takes some effort on your end. So, and if you're in a unique position, such as like changing careers, returning to work after taking some time, you took a time out for raising kids or rebounding from being laid off. So know that you are going to have an extra steps needs to be taken care when you're applying for the new jobs. Seventh part is the most important, as we all know, prepare for the interview. So if you land in any interview, and it's congratulations for you. Now, before you walk into that meeting, you should practice how you will answer some common questions. You also want to have it in your reported, a collection of stories you can tell about your past experience and how you overcome obstacles. And when the interviewer goes to ask you if you have any questions, you will want to come prepared with several good ones. Basically, this is your chance to show the hiring manager who you are and why you would be a great fit for the company. So the right kind of a question will actually impress the hiring manager. For example, like if you say do you have any questions, so you can when asking the question, you can give a lot of information, like I have seen that your company is into the software industry from 50 years, and you have been receiving a lot of awards. So being I'd be very passionate and happy to work with such a company, that but can I expect an on-site opportunity after joining? So you are giving some information and then asking a question, so it really gets impressed. Like, do not ask flat questions when they say do you have any questions. Do some research, tell them some information which they'll be really interested in and listening to, and then you ask your question. They'll be very happy to answer your question, sorry. So step 8, remember that this is a process that takes time. So it's not that you just apply your job and tomorrow you'll be in your new job. No. So you'll probably start your search super excited to get started, then it will drag on, and you'll find excuses to quit. So you should not do that. This is a long process, especially if you know exactly what you want. Your application has to get the attention of busy recruiters, hiring managers, and yes, some artificial intelligence robots as well. So trust me, I know it's exhausting, but more effort you put in, the greater your chances of getting that interview. So my advice to you is, like, keep your head up and remember that it's not a race. Nothing worthwhile happens overnight. And on the days when you really feel like throwing in the towel, do not forever, but for the night. So you are working hard and you deserve a break. So put your feet up and put up your Netflix on and treat yourself to relaxing evening. The listing will all still be there in the morning. So make sure you relax well, and then get up and start the process very seriously next day morning. So whatever time you spend to process the resume or get shortlisted and preparing for the interview, keep a timeline for it. Keep some dedicated time, and do not deviate from that at any cost in that particular block time. For example, if you say that I'm going to work seriously for 1 hour, do not get into any of your social networking sites, not open your WhatsApp or Facebook, and do not get deviated from it. So that 1 hour strictly you dedicate for this, preparing the resume or something like that. So do it consistently, and you have to very, very focused. And then organize your search term. So according to the latest researchers and all, to land a job in 30 days, you have to organize your search time and spend 30 minutes at least at least for 4 times in a day. For example, like you have spent 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the afternoon, 30 minutes in the evening, and 30 minutes in the night. So you need to equally distribute that in that time. It's also been the research also says that if you spend time continuously, only the quality time would be the 30 minutes. After that you're going to get deviated. So make sure that you do not deviate yourself for 30 minutes, or if at all, if you're very aggressive, then 1 hour, and then after that take some break, and then again sit on it, and completely focus on how to get this next job. So your entire energies have to be concentrated. Your focus should be on getting the job. That's it, nothing else. Know what you want. So to guide your job search, ask yourself some key questions. What don't you like about your current job, and why do you want to change jobs? And this is when you stop and think long and hard about values and needs and the type of work environment that would suit you. Because what you don't like and what you like is it should be pretty clear in your mind. And don't forget to consider your desired salaries, working conditions, and working environment. So you have to be crystal clear about what you are expecting from your next job. So if at all, if you're a fresher, then you should keep in your mind that it's okay to okay for any salary and okay for any location. If you're desperately looking out for a job and you're a fresher and you need a break, then you can put your flexible timings, flexible location, and flexible salaries. So these are the things that you have to do it. But if you're an experienced guy, then you have to select and draw a line, what is the maximum or what is the minimum that I can stretch myself to. Emphasize your skills. So I normally believe this is a crucial step. So make a list of the skills and qualities that set you apart from the crowd and what makes you exceptional. So pinpoint your main skills. You'll need them in the next step. Prepare your promotional tools. So your resume, LinkedIn profile, and cover letter all are promotional tools for selling your product. So you that's how we normally discuss this. Tools should tell us how this person made this mark. And she explains, this is your chance to describe the major achievements for every job you have had. Have a search strategy. Now that you have identified your job search goals and the skills that you make you a desirable candidate and polished up your promotional tools, it's time to narrow down on your job search. In other words, target the areas where you had liked to work. Would you prefer to work for a small, medium, or large company in the public sector? And if the public sector, is it a a foreign based company or a national based company or something like that? So you should have a clear search strategy. Step 14 is maintain presence online. So we have already talked about this, but the maintaining the presence online is something like it's next step to building the network. So if you haven't already done so, create a LinkedIn profile and make sure that you have a presence there and you have the up-to-date profile in the LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the most searched social networking site before you get hired by the recruitment managers. And this headhunters and human resources professionals, it's all it's a common practice that they search for your name in the LinkedIn. Step 15, use local resources and your own network. So people tend to forget that about local employment centers and job search clubs, but these types of organizations have resources to facilitate your job search. The same applies to your own social networking site, social network as well. Conduct a discreet survey of the people around you. Track down people who work in the target sector you have identified and try to contact senior managers who work there. So a large percentage of jobs are never advertised. Remember that. And so you have to be resourceful. So remember, to build your network, and you have to have the local resources are extremely important, especially when you are on a very high level of experience or you're a fresher. So 0 to 1 year, 2 years, and all these things, it will fill up with networking for sure. And the very high level kind of requirements also fill up with the networking. So make sure you always maintain that local resource network. So prepare for your interview. So this is something which you have to always do that. So it's key projects and persons, and you are meeting with many employers. Also like candidates to ask questions at the end of the interview. So it demonstrates a genuine interest in the serious intent and all. So prepare for your interview and do answer every question very professionally. So you need to practice that professionalism. It doesn't come immediately, so you need to practice that. So most of the people will be dropped because of the unprofessional way of telling the question. Maybe technically you are sound, but the professional way of delivering it is very important. And your body language and the dress sense also counts a lot in hiring you. So you need to make sure preparation also counts. You addressing your body language and the way you deliver your answers and all these things. 17th is the most important thing, follow up. So once the interview is over, they'll generally promise to be in touch, or they say that they'll get back to you. So don't let this sort of evasiveness stop you from reaffirming your interest and following up with your interviewer. Tell them you appreciated meeting with them and that you have eagerly awaiting their response. So these are the things that you have to ask them when you're following up. So whether you're sending a mail or calling them, you use this phrase that it was great meeting you, but I'm eagerly waiting for your response. That's how you have to ask them for the feedback of your interview. And then the step 18 is keep looking. And do not get stuck with one interview and one call, it's not enough. So you have to keep looking, no matter whether you are 0 years experience or a complete fresher to even if you're 30 years experience, there might be high chances that you will not be getting selected in the first interview. So you always have to make sure you need to at least attend 10 to 20 interviews. I normally tell it to everyone across my network that you need to at least go through 10 to 20 interviews. Only when you go for 10 to 20 interviews, only then you might land up in a kind of a job that you are looking out for, that your dream job probably. And see, what happens mostly is like people give up looking for new jobs after 1 or 2 trials. So that's the reason most of us will be disappointed. But make sure that you use that as a step. So for example, if you have attended an interview today and you didn't get through that, do not get depressed about that, or do not give up that trial. You make sure you learn something from it and then you apply for it. So it's a statistical research based decision that you have to at least attend 10 to 20 interviews. Only then you can make it for the next break. Otherwise, it's either you have to adjust with the present job, or you have to be getting depressed. So all the very best for your next break, next job. And do write to me how do you feel about this session, and do give me some feedback, and also let me know what kind of videos that you're looking out for in the future. So write in comments your opinions about this topic, and what topic you'd like to see in your next video. And if you like this video, do share it with your friends. And if you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, please do click on this icon and do subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Have a great day, and all the very best for your next break.